Ron.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
Hey.
Welcome to October 9, 2018 meeting of Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh.
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as a legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in a pledge of allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
The clerk will please call the roll.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Hurd?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Phelan?
Here.
Mayor Winterfield?
Here.
We have a quorum.
We're all here.
The next item on the agenda is presentations, Stomp Out Bullying. We have representation from the school administration. We have Rich Hazler, Michael Portes, and Matt Reiner. I'm not sure who the spokesperson is, but...
Ted Loeffler.
And Ted Leffler.
And Ted Leffler. Oh, yep, Ted. So you can all come up, or...
Make them all come up.
All right, you can all come up. When you're done, we want to read a proclamation into the record, but I'll let you speak there. It'll be better for the camera.
Sure.
You can hear everything. This way the community, yeah.
First of all, thank you very much for allowing us to come today. October is recognized as National Bullying Prevention Month, and obviously it's something that is near and dear to our hearts in the school, making sure that we are providing a safe educational opportunity for our students. And obviously it's not just the month of October. We want to focus on anti-bullying, but every month. But in October we do a lot of things in our schools, starting with the first week of October is recognized by the state of New Jersey as the Week of Respect. And so all of us, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about what we've done this week, this past week, to recognize our Week of Respect. But at PV Middle School, where I'm the principal, we started off on Monday with our kids, our peer leaders, put positive notes on the lockers of every student in the school. You're awesome, let your light shine, keep up the good work. And you could hear the positive energy and see the positive energy from the kids when they came in. They caught on to it, and then they realized, well, what's going to be on my locker? And then they talked about it. And now I see, first of all, some of the stickers are still up on the lockers, and some kids have put them inside their locker as kind of a reminder. Our soccer teams have started a Respect for Servicemen and Women activity where they are organizing care packages that they're going to send out. Our field hockey team went around and provided room service to the staff on Wednesday with drinks and a snack. And then Thursday, our student council decorated the school in respect for our school. We also had an assembly. Matt Bellis, who has been in our community before, our community partners of Hope brought him here on Wednesday night for a parent program. We had him at PV on Wednesday, and also he went to Lincoln Park, and he talked about the resilience to rise above. And he taught the kids about the power of perseverance, the power of positive thinking, and taking care of yourself. And so it was a great week. It's something that we're going to continue to do in our school, not just this week, but moving forward. And but it all starts at our elementary schools with our character ed program. And so our elementary principals will talk a little bit about that.
At the elementary schools, we all work together to do very similar things for the Week of Respect. In addition to our regular yearly programs that we have throughout the curriculum, we had some speakers come in this past week. We had Spirit Days for the students with different themed days to help them think about different things that we respect, themselves, some community, others, the school. Mr. Hazler didn't mention one thing that happened over the past week, which he deserves some credit for. As part of our staff development, we also had a wonderful speaker and some great professional development, and part of that professional development included some very great messages to our staff about positive thinking, working together as colleagues and collaborating for the children. So that was an added benefit for the Week of Respect. We'll continue to do some things as the weeks go on. We do have other themed weeks weeks this month in October. We have the Anti-Violence Week, and we have our Red Ribbon Week, respecting oneself to stay away from drugs. In addition to the Matt Bellis program, we partnered with the Deirdre House and had a speaker come through this past week for the district at North Boulevard to talk about heroin use and some other drugs. And we're actually going to be partnering with them further to try to get them in a little bit more to some of the other parent meetings and things that we have to try to reach a greater audience. So the gentleman is going to continue to work with us on that. But we have ongoing things, so thank you very much for your support. It's great to partner with the township that we work in and that we support. So we thank you very much for this great honor of the proclamation.
Anyone else?
Mr. Reiner just said that we were pretty much done, and we said everything as I was stepping up. So
You're never done.
yeah, we haven't quite mastered timing yet. But it is important to note, too, that the elementary schools, we also had pep rallies to either launch or conclude the week, and it's great to see the kids get really excited about citizenship, about scholarship, and being upstanders. And it really is a community-wide initiative, and we're very proud to be a part of the community, and we appreciate how much you are doing to help our students learn about respecting themselves, respecting others. And we see it in the parents, we see it in the staff, and it's just really great that everybody's on board with this, and again, we appreciate the support from you.
Now we're done. I guess we weren't done. So it is great to partner with the community, and another way that we partner with the greater community is through our Upstander program that is run by the New York Jets. Although they may be very bad at football, they do something very, very nice for schools. Our students that we recognize receive Jets tickets, a nice T-shirt, parking pass. They get their picture up on the jumbo screen at the Jets game for being upstanders and standing up for other students who may be having a bad day or who might have been being picked on. A great example would be somebody was just looking or feeling down. They go over, cheer them up. It really does promote everything that we teach in our anti-bullying programs. So along with Pequannock, we're also partnering with the New York Jets, and we thank you for all of your support.
Well, that's great.
Excellent.
All right, you guys hang out. You guys, council, want to come down? I want to read the proclamation. I have one for each of you.
Only for
Okay. We gotta get the picture.
Yes, they are.
There's a picture. Okay. We gotta go out. I gotta ask Mr. Walker. I gotta ask Mr. Walker. I'm pretty sure I worked with Mr. Walker's dad.
Okay, the camera, don't hide anybody. Have questions? There you go. So before I read, I just want to say a few words that I am just so proud that you reached out, Mr. Hazel, to us, because as soon as you did, it was like instant response. Because, you know, I raised my son here, and the school system is awesome. I mean, I remember back at North Boulevard, you know, it was manners matter in the millennium. And I still remember it. So that's like, you've been doing this for a long time. So it's really, really important that people are kind to each other. And I think we just can't stick our head in the sand and think that it doesn't happen here in Pequannock. We have to keep going on and on and on. I mean, I think the one thing, I'm glad you're reaching out to us, because I think the missing link is the community, because there's a lot of people without children who may not get the message and not realize that they're adult bullies. You know, we had, I won't go into any detail, but we had a little circus here last year, and it was over a playground, and there were parents yelling at children, and those children, I had to explain to them and to their young mothers, like, what was going on. So these things happen in Pequannock, so it's really important that we address this and we educate. I know this is off topic, but the way I know you educate sometimes is you go to the youth, and it kind of trickles up like recycling, right? Teach the kids, and then the parents will learn. Teach them not to smoke, the parents will learn. So we got to figure out, how do we bridge this to the community, so that, especially with cyberbullying, you know, how do we get that message out? So it's really important that we just, we're at a new level of, you know, craziness in social media, and when, you know, all the mob mentality and all that. And some of that's here in Pequannock, so I really, really applaud you for reaching out, and we have to figure out as a community how to, like, keep Pequannock safe.
We do have a cyberbullying program coming up. I'm also working with Deirdre House on, so I'll be more than happy to send that information to you as soon as I get the date. We were looking to try to get a date in late October, somewhere around the 26th, but I'll confirm that with you.
That's really good, because what you're doing is the children, but then there's a lot of adults.
Yeah, you have to keep in mind, we were never trained on social media, right? It just kind of, it was like, here's a cell phone, and for the kids, that's all they know. And so we're training them, but when was any one of us at a social media workshop outside of educators, And
what
so,
they think is very innocent.
Yep. So
Get them in big trouble.
we could always use programs, and if we can offer that to the community, we'll certainly do that.
Yeah, we need to learn too. We were chatting before council, like, oh my God, if there was social media when we were young, some of us might be in trouble.
Right.
For an innocent, prank, may be something else. So I'm really, really proud of the awesome work that you're doing, and we want to partner with you. So let me read this into the record, and then you can take it back to your schools.
Thank you.
All right. Whereas bullying is physical, verbal, sexual, or emotional harm, or intimidation intentionally directed at a person or group of people. Whereas bullying occurs in neighborhoods, playgrounds, schools, and through technology, such as the internet and cell phones. Whereas various researchers have concluded that bullying is the most common form of violence, affecting millions of American children and adolescents annually. Whereas thousands of children and adolescents are affected by bullying annually. Whereas targets of bullying are more likely to acquire physical, emotional, and learning problems, and students who are repeatedly bullied often fear activities as riding the bus, which we don't have here, thank God, too much, going to school, and attending community activities. Whereas children who bully are at greater risk of engaging in more serious violent behaviors. Whereas children who witness bullying often feel less secure, more often, and intimidated. Now and therefore, on behalf of the Township of Pequannock and its residents, Mayor Catherine Winterfield, and members of the Township Council, do hereby encourage schools, students, parents, recreation programs, religious institutions, and community organizations to participate in a variety of bullying awareness and prevention activities throughout October 2018, which is proclaimed as Bullying Prevention Month in the Township of Pequannock.
That's excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
You questions?
You've done a great job. You guys are doing awesome.
You have to go through the board then? Thank you very much.
Thank you. We get a picture of
Picture.
Picture with everybody?
Picture that.
Can we do the bunny here?
This is going to get tweeted, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, schools are big on tweeting.
That'd be great.
Second in.
Somebody tell us,
Maybe I should have got myself over here.
balance it out.
Here, that'll balance it.
Everybody within the frame. 1, 2, 3. Another one just to make sure. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
This picture is very awkward with us sitting back here, so we try to move now. We learned.
Bye, guys. Thanks. Good night. You can stay if you want. Next on the agenda is reports from volunteers. At this time are the reports or comments from any volunteers serving our community. Joe.
Joe Wells, 5 Washington Street. Just a couple of brief things with relation to, we had an open space meeting last night, very good meeting, and a lot of interesting things came up, new properties available. I want to report that our final 2 kiosks are in the works. The young scout, Eagle Scout, with some help from Adam, is got his materials ready. He's starting to actually build the kiosk, which will go on Riverside. And I'm actually speaking to the Rotary Club tomorrow, and I'm hoping that they're going to complete the last kiosk on North Pequannock Avenue. They've indicated they were interested in that, so that would complete all the kiosks and basically complete the initial section that I got the grant for the Riverwalk from Riverside, Pequannock, North Pequannock, and Harrison. The other thing I wanted to mention the rail trail meeting is going to be at 6:30 in the senior house next door tomorrow night.
Thursday night, right?
Thursday night, rather, I'm sorry. Yeah, Thursday night. I'd like to see as many people as possible come. The engineering firm NV5 that has designed the trail is going to present details of what the trail is going to be like and answer questions about its construction and its basic design. The other thing I just want to mention, Tom Andrea and myself have volunteered to assist the town in mapping the trees that are down in the river. And 2 weeks ago, Tom and I went down the river in our kayaks and photographed and geolocated trees that are down. The river was running pretty high, and so we only went down about 1.5 miles. But in that one section that we did, which was from Harrison to a dam behind Carl Bauer's stables, there are over 20 trees that are down in the river, and I know myself from hiking along Pequannock Avenue and North Pequannock and Riverside, there are many more trees down. So it's going to be a project that once we locate the trees, it might be helpful in going for a grant or planning our activities, what we have to do, but it's something that we're going to have to look forward to dealing with on a routine basis, because we have the rain that we had this year, the ground is wet. If we get another windstorm, we'll add to those trees. So it's an ongoing thing that we have to do. That's it for me. Any questions?
What time was that, was the rail trail meeting?
Rail trail is 6:30 to 8 o'clock on Thursday night.
Right.
Not
At
tomorrow.
Senior House?
Yes.
At Senior House, yes.
Unfortunately, some of us can't make it, so hopefully we'll get an update.
I believe that, as I'm also chairman of the Morris County Board of Transportation, and we're basically managing the rail trail with the Morris County Parks Department, and we intend to have a specific council meeting, was what we, 3 basic meetings. We had a meeting with town officials and people that were pertinent to the trail, first responders, fire department, police, and so forth. That already took place here, but we do, prior to starting construction, to have a meeting for you folks specifically.
Great, we'd appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other volunteers? Haven't heard from you in a long time, Louise. Okay, all right.
Hands-on lately.
Okay. So I guess we're good. Next on the agenda is public comments. This public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period of public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized to come to the microphone and provide your name and address for the record. Okay. Next item on the agenda is manager's report. Mr. Brewer.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. A few things to provide updates on. The sewer assessments for the village area sewer were confirmed last night at the council meeting, special meeting, so thank you everyone for that. I know it wasn't a task that anyone asked for or wanted to deal with, but it was a good project and I'm happy to be moving forward with it. With respect to the flood advocates report, it's contained within the documents detailed, but for the benefit of the audience, there are 3 more houses in the 2015 grant that have begun construction, so there are a total of 14 of those undergoing elevation. In the 17 grant, 3 more homes have begun construction as well, for a total of 7 homes currently under construction for that grant. As of right now, we have a total of 26 applicants who have signed on for the 2018 FMA grant with FEMA. That's being prepared by the flood advocate as well as the consultant, and they all meet the criteria that was established of either being severe repetitive loss, or substantially damaged by a prior event. I have the pleasure of scheduling and attending the Flood Committee's meeting this Thursday, so I look forward to sitting with that group. As I work, you're welcome, as I work my way around the various boards, committees, and commissions. With respect to records management, I've had some conversations with Ms. Marsh regarding some things. As the council may be aware, there's a couple of years of outstanding minutes that occurred as a result of the transition in clerks, and Ms. Marsh is looking to come up with a strategy in the best manner in which to have them completed. In my past experience, the clerk or the board secretary has retained either a retired clerk or someone that's, skilled in putting minutes together. But the question really for the council is what level of detail would you prefer those minutes to include? As everyone may be aware, there isn't a requirement to have verbatim minutes of public meetings. So there's a continuum, if you will, of detail from recording of action taken and those members present to every word said and anything in between.
So are you suggesting that the minutes be put together more condensed and not the way we normally do them?
No, we're talking about the 2011.
Right, the old one. Right, no, I know.
Yeah, for the old, that's my question for the council.
Yeah.
It's your call. They're the minutes for this body. So-
I think a summary.
Right, the question is, does Carol have the time to do detailed?
No.
That's a no.
Yeah, I would look either
But
to have condensed or have someone come in and do them.
That's.
I think the minimum requirement is to have a record of the action taken. And if there's a public hearing, anybody that speaks in a public hearing. I'm looking at Mr. Ustek to see if
That's right, yeah.
So that amount of detail, it wouldn't get done immediately, but we could actually do it in the clerk's office.
With something that's doable.
That's doable.
That's fine.
Which years are we talking about? How many are outstanding?
I'm putting together an actual list, but there's some from 2010 all the way to I think 2013's done. I think it's actually half of 2010, all of 2011, part of 2012.
How do we
and then
do
some,
all of 2011?
all of there may be 3 meetings.
Yeah, we weren't even here.
We weren't even here in 2010, so I'm not sure how.
Well, no.
2011.
Exactly. But not for 2010.
I'm putting together an exact list, and then there's
Figure it out.
scattered ones before that.
Wow.
I think the least basic, just
Yeah, the
whatever.
summary, the recording.
Summary,
the-
but very, very little information.
I mean, that means-
Carol wasn't here.
No,
So,
I was not here.
No.
And this is assuming that I believe there are recordings for all the meetings. It's possible that some of them are missing. So I would leave off the council reports, the manager's report, and the public comment,
That's fine.
and reports from
I
volunteers.
think I have all those meetings taped.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
I think we have FDR recordings of, I think we have them.
Yeah, you have the
I'm pretty
voice.
sure.
But you don't see me, I know.
Let's see what you have.
Well, that's what I was going to say, is to put them together, you still need the minutes, right? The recording.
She has the recording.
There's handwritten notes from a lot of them. And those handwritten notes are actually pretty good recordings of the actions, of the votes that were taken.
Well, maybe we can do that, and if we is it too hard if we have the old tapes to load them?
I think she has what she needs.
If people want them.
It's just a matter of do you pare them down or you do them detailed.
Well, shame on us, guys.
Yeah.
Shame on us.
Oh, we've been working.
Don't include me in that one.
I can also give you the pared down ones, and if there are any that you want more detail in, we can, if there was a discussion that took place or that
Well, that's my only.
people want a
So I
record
guess
of.
the place to start is do the list. Come up with what it is, and we'll do some kind of triage.
So in 2011, we approved 0 meetings?
I don't know that it's 0, it's a lot.
No, it wasn't 0, I don't think. She said.
I don't know if she has the years right.
I don't have them I don't have the list because it's not complete and I didn't want to.
It was a transition period, and it was a rough
Yeah,
period.
I'd like
You
to-
even, come on, you must recall.
I'd like to know which ones we're talking about.
They didn't even want video.
I can email it.
right?
When I get the list done, I'll email it.
Yeah, you're right.
It was, yeah,
Yeah, but wait a second.
it was wild.
How do we expect Carol to do minutes the way she does them currently?
can't.
When she wasn't even here.
Well, she has the recording.
Well, she's been going back
She has
through
to
the
listen. She
recording.
would have to listen to the whole meetings
I would say whatever she can do in-house
to meet the
easily
requirements.
to meet the requirements is all.
I think we're all in
I want.
agreement for that.
Okay. And then if people need more information, they're going to ask for it.
Well, we always have the recordings.
You do,
recordings are operable, correct?
yes, they are.
So you have the recordings as a backup to the written word that fits the criteria, plus we also have videos.
Well, you only have videos back.
I have all of 2011, 2012.
Okay.
And that's the only reason I asked. The summaries are fine, but if somebody wants information, on something that was discussed and it's not in the minutes, yeah, you want to
They
be
can have
able
a
to have.
full recording,
Right.
yeah.
Just to throw a small wrinkle into that, if you have minutes, the minutes are permanent record, and they're the official record of what happens.
Right.
So once you have, I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but once you have the approved minutes, you can destroy all the recordings.
Right.
Not that we're planning to do that, but at some point,
That's not the official.
right.
Because it wasn't approved. Right.
There's no requirement to keep the other recordings.
Right.
No, I just want to know how many.
Well, do we want to do a little straw
Isn't there
poll
any
thing here?
technology?
I'm hearing consensus. but-
Yeah, I want to make sure we have a consensus. Let's do a little straw poll there.
Am I the only one that's worried about like the dates and stuff?
No, she's going to do the dates, right?
She's going to give us a list of the
Yeah,
dates.
that's, right.
Right. She's going to give us...
10, is it 20, is it 100? I mean, you know.
Yeah, I want to know what we're talking about before I decide.
I have a question for Mr. Rustico. Is there any, there's not an ending to this, right? You can't say, well, I'm going to skip 2005. You still need to have...
No, there should be minutes.
Right, okay.
Going back. Yeah.
There will be an issue, though, with 2010, because none of us were here.
Yeah, and I think we're going to say because none of us were here, we're all going to be able to vote on it.
Okay. We went through that last night.
Doctrine of necessity.
Yes. We learned about that last night. Okay. All right. Well, I think you have a consensus, but we haven't completely given you that. Let's see the list, and we'll talk about it again.
Yeah. I'm amazed. We did not approve any minutes in 2000.
Well, there may be some. Let's see. We did
That's
some.
what I want to say, which
Yeah.
ones. Okay.
All right. She'll come up with the list.
Who's the mayor?
Yeah, who was in charge?
Moving along, two other quick things that don't require direction. Records management, Carol and I are working together. We're going to be implementing a new records management process, getting everybody on board with retention, what can be disposed of how, to make sure we're compliant with that and moving forward. And lastly, the codification of ordinances is going to be taking place to shift away from an in-house staff person to have a contractor to do it. We're all looking forward to searchable minutes and the other amenities that come with that product. Not to say that anybody did anything that wasn't admirable, because what's been done to this date has been yeoman's work, so it's been a fantastic job, but we're just looking to unburden the staff member from something he's been willing to do for a good time period. And one quick item that wasn't included in the written component of my report that I just wanted to bring to the council and anybody who's participating, watching this attention, the Jacksonville Road sidewalk project. That project, as the council may recall, was awarded a couple of months ago, and the contractor who was the low bidder is the same contractor who's currently paving Mountain. So
he gets around?
From Mountain in Jacksonville.
rim shots appreciated. So, so the issue is, I can hold him to completing the project in 2018. But the concern I have with that is I'm not fond of pouring concrete in November. So with no additional cost other than the rescheduling, it can be the first project in 2019.
This is after we told everybody that sidewalks are going to be done?
This is after we told everybody that sidewalks are going to be done. We don't look great.
Well, they've started some of the work, too.
The county is doing work, a component of the county's job. The challenge I have with this is, obviously, it's not my druthers to kick the can down the road and kick the project into 2019. But if I were to apply my homeowner's hat to it and ask what I would do if it were my own property, the fact that you're pouring concrete when it could get cold, and if there's inclement weather, you're dousing concrete that hasn't cured with salt, thereby decreasing the lifespan of the improvement. Unfortunately, with the factors in play, my recommendation and my thought is to move it into 2019.
Well, here's a question. If we didn't move it, when would they have an anticipated start date? It's October 9th.
First week in November.
So no matter what, they'd still be out. A week?
The project would probably take 4 to 5 weeks.
Oh, forget it.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, it's not.
You're dealing with the Thanksgiving holiday, you're dealing with other things.
It's a matter of whether you're going to have an early winter or a late...
After all these years?
Yeah.
After all these years, you have...
And again, it is never my preference,
And then
but
in 2019, though, we probably wouldn't start until what month usually?
April, May?
late March.
Late March, it's still...
It all depends what happens.
It all depends on the weather.
Yeah, you can't really say.
But I don't want to chase good money after an
We agree
ideal.
with you.
I'd rather look goofy than not do something.
Okay, so we can blame you, right?
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
Sounds good.
That sounds good. You guys down there?
Yeah, no, I'm good because it doesn't make sense to.
No, you don't want
So
to.
the
They're
reality
going to throw a job at
Is the
it.
contractor okay with,
The delay?
Yes.
okay, I'm good with that.
So the reality is, they wouldn't be able to start until, let's say, November 1st. It's going to take them at least 4 weeks. We've got Thanksgiving in there.
Forget it.
Plus, I'm sure it's going to rain, which means we're pushing it to December, and that means we're really pushing it too far for bad weather.
It could snow.
Right.
I
Takes 30 days for the cement to cure.
Yeah, I have completed.
It'll destroy it.
I have completed projects like this in past municipalities, and I have paved and poured concrete in December, and it has an effect on the outcome of the project.
So it's just better just to wait a couple of months till, let's say, April 1st.
And really, look at
We've
all the
waited
rain
all
we've
these
had.
years.
So it's really based, I mean, it's not so much that we got the same contractor, it's because of the weather we've had. And
And
that's
and unfortunately, has other jobs in the schedule of the contract.
Now, is he going to start paving?
Yes.
That's when?
That's
when.
I thought it was the first week of October.
Yes. The weather has had an impact. The positive news about Mountain Avenue is the most significant work to be done was by the person milling it.
Right.
Because if you drove down the road when it was not
Oh, yeah.
completed
That was a nightmare.
yet, you could see the profile of the curb. In some areas, it's about an inch, and some areas, it's 8 inches down. So there was a lot of engineering and supervision associated with the milling work. I got a report from Joe Golden that the milling work was done extraordinarily well. So it's a positive sign. The pavement will go in, and we will have a good finished product once it's all completed.
Okay.
That was a question on Main. So when they did the sides, it's at the right height.
Correct. The road's
Just
wrong,
looked.
the curve is right.
Got it, okay.
When they grind it down.
In some areas, they were milling 9 inches. So,
Yeah, because I noticed that. As a matter of fact, a homeowner had said something to me about, like, why was her curb so much higher? But now, is that still how it is,
It'll
or
be
it's
the
been
same
fixed?
for everybody.
it'll all be evened out
It'll
with
be
the
even
milling,
for
and then it'll be
everybody.
paved.
All right, so that's why she
Graded.
said that.
Correct.
There was,
And that's why it's a reconstruction project as opposed to a resurfacing project.
It'll be a beautiful thing.
When it's done,
It's going to be a highway.
Oh, yeah.
Highway.
I would not run on that road for a
I wouldn't
while.
run on that road. Stay on the sidewalk. It'll be highway.
Yes, you can. This guy work on Jacksonville, they're done yet. It's better to run with the traffic.
that concludes my report. Thank you.
Anything
Thank
else?
you.
No,
Is
that's
there any
it.
way we can get that to the public that we're gonna?
We're going to send letters,
Okay,
but I didn't want to do anything without first checking and confirming with the council.
okay.
you're just going to send letters, though, on
To the people impacted. And we'll put something up on the website. We'll post the
Yeah.
letter on the website as well.
Okay, great. All right. Next would be public hearings, but we have no public hearings for this evening. Next on the agenda, there are no ordinance for introduction, so it's resolutions. Next on the agenda, item resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2018-180, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. 2018-181, authorizing release of designated escrow deposits. 2018-182, authorizing an interlocal agreement between the Township of Pequannock and the Borough of Bloomingdale Board of Health for public health services. And R 2018-183, this needs to be revised, so I'm going to read it as revised. And the revision is that the $350 check to Florham Park on page 1 should have actually be to the borough, to Riverdale. So it's approving the payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the October 9th bill list and the October 5th, 2018, 2015, and 2016 FEMA elevation escrow list.
But it doesn't change the total at all?
No.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, are there any comments on the resolutions from council?
No.
Nope.
No? Okay. Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2018-180 through 183.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Phelan?
Yes.
Mayor Winterfield?
I'm going to say yes, but I have to say I am going to recuse myself on the one item for the reimbursement to the Glens, because I am a trustee there, and that's on page 7. It's check number 61872, and yes to all the others.
Page 7 to the Glens.
No items for discussion. Next on the agenda, reports and notices. Are there any comments on anybody from any of the notices? There's that one notice.
No, that was the health.
Okay. So council reports, Councilwoman Florence Lynch.
Just a couple of things. Next Wednesday, 17th at 7:30 is our library board meeting. I know Shred Day is October 13th, which is the same day as the Martin Berry House dedication, correct?
Yeah, this Saturday.
So that's this week. Okay. And what was the other thing I wanted to touch on? I meant to reach out to someone on this earlier. Are we participating at all in the, I saw a notice, I think it was from the clerk's office, Ann Grossi's office, about the EMTs, and it was like the 23rd, it was EMTs and paramedics who serve in the military. Did anybody see that?
I did see that. I'm not sure
I didn't know if that was
what she
something
was
that
doing.
the township was...
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, yeah.
I was going to follow up on that just to say I saw an email on that, and I wondered if that's something that we normally...
Veterans, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was EMTs and paramedics who serve in the military. There was an
Some kind of
event
recognition or something for them.
on the 23rd, so I didn't know if the town had ever participated in that before.
I think that's something new she's doing. I think it's something new. Yeah.
All right, maybe we can look into that. I don't know. It's coming up. What
We'll
else?
assign that to you.
And then...
You brought it up.
Yeah, no, because I saw it and I put it in my calendar. What was the other thing? And Economic Development Committee, they met, and our manager went to the meeting, and it was, I thought it was a good, productive meeting. So, more things to come.
Okay.
That's it.
Councilman Hurd?
Let's see, Joe Wells did such a good job on open space. I have nothing else to cover. Flood meeting is this Thursday here, 7:30. And that's all I have right now.
Councilman Cole?
First Aid Squad met last night. They had 67 calls for the month of September. Chief Lyons wanted the council to know that the police department has been very helpful in their calls. I'm going to read the email. There is the fundraiser for Bryan Spring that's coming up on November 3rd. The Pequannock Township Emergency Services, in coordination with Pequannock PVA 172, Pequannock Engine Company 1 and Engine Company 2, the Pequannock First Aid Squad, and Engine Company 2 Ladies Auxiliary are proud to be hosting a benefit for Chief Spring. The event will be held on November 3rd at Holy Spirit Parish Center. Tickets are $35 and include a comedy night, pasta dinner, tricky tray, 50/50 available the night of the event as well. All proceeds will be benefit Chief Spring's, the Chief Spring Fund. So if anybody wants tickets, I'm sure anybody on the First Aid Squad or the fire department will be more than happy to accommodate them with the tickets.
Dave, just to...
How much were they?
It may sell out quick, so...
Get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
How much were they again?
$35 a ticket.
Okay.
Parks and Rec met on October 1st. Nothing really to report then on that meeting. And then this Saturday, of course, is we have the Shred Day in the morning, the Martin Berry House dedication, and then the Johnny Cash First Aid Squad fundraiser is Saturday night. I'm sure, Stacy, can they get tickets at the door?
Yes, they can.
And then you can get tickets at the door if you haven't purchased them already.
Okay.
I cover everything, Stacy? All right, we're good. That's it, thank you.
Okay, Councilman Phelan.
Okay, I had hoped that Fire Company 2's new truck would be here, but I guess it's not here yet. I guess I'll get more information on Thursday, because there's a meeting on Thursday. Company 1 met on Friday. Adam, I know there were some discussions that you had with Company 1 that I have to talk to you about later. And Melissa, have you ever heard of the Tri-County EDC by any chance?
Yes. I believe
Is
I have.
Pequannock involved in that, or no?
I think they have been in the past. They've gone to some of their meetings and stuff. I don't know if they're actual members. They've gone to some of the events.
Is it?
It's Wayne, it's Pequannock, it's River.
Is it kind of like the chamber, same people?
Some of it is similar.
Well, no, I was in Hayden. I from Hayden was invited to the Tri-County EDC, and the first thing I said was, "Well, is Pequannock involved?"
Yeah, I mean, we have gone to some of their events. I don't know if they're actual members, but I know we've gotten emails from them before. So it's something we could look at if there's any.
I don't know if there's any value in it. I was just curious if Pequannock was actually involved in that. And that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you. I have a couple of things. Of course, the Martinberry dedication is at noon on Saturday, and I do want to say for the Historic Commission and for the Historic Society, they're very thankful to the DPW and all the hard work they have done to help keep the property clean and trees and special requests and all kinds of things. The place is really looking great. There's a number of legislators coming to recognize and speak. It's going to be a town crier there. It's going to be quite an event. Shamrock will be performing acoustic. They won't be loud, hard rock and roll. It'll be appropriate. We have someone singing the national anthem a cappella. So it's going to be really a nice event. So I have to say, but special thanks to the DPW. Another thing is the PSA, the Pequannock Skateboard Association, has a barbecue on Sunday, and I believe they sent complimentary tickets to everybody. If you could just kind of give them a response on there, let them know if you're coming. They're trying to plan food out. The Historic Commission asked a question about the hoedown next year. I understand there may be a date change, and there may be a conflict with the Pathways historical tour that they always do. So has there been a date and tradition as to when it is to accommodate possibly the fire companies to come because of the...
As I sit here, I'm ignorant, so...
You haven't heard anything?
I can follow up with Rex.
I heard a rumor they were thinking of changing it, and then I think I asked somebody in Parks and Rec, and they said no.
The fire companies are not talking about it, so I'm
Well, we would know because we did the calendar, right?
What's that?
We did the township calendar that will come out, so somebody probably decided something.
Yeah.
Well, normally the fire company would be saying, we would like them to change the date, blah, 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 but there's not mention of people.
I don't understand. They want the fire companies to come?
To be able to come. See, they haven't been able to come to the hoedown.
Wow.
Yeah, but then if they change that, it's because the historic Pathways tour was always in October. They moved it to September. Now they're thinking of changing the week. And
there was just talk, I think, about moving it, but when they looked at moving it,
they didn't
it conflicted with something else. So I don't think it's moved.
You can just double check because they're just trying to figure out.
I will get the date, confirm it with everybody, and report back at the next meeting.
All right, because everybody's just trying to get things on their calendars and volunteers, and are they going to participate in the hoedown? Are they not going to be in the hoedown? All kinds of crazy things. So that'll be a great thing. One other thing I had was, you talked about the bike path. One thing about the bike path, the Historic Commission met, talked about the meeting that happened in Wayne, and they feel very strongly about the name of the bike path, so they are putting together a memo. They'll be sending it forth. For many historic reasons, I won't go into all the details, they would like to suggest it be called the Pompton Path. So they will send their information up, and the county will do whatever they do with the information. But they did feel very strongly about that. And I don't know at what point we'll be settled in on a name. Do you know, Joe?
It's going to be the Park Commission's decision. The only thing that we've clarified, it will not be named after an individual.
Okay.
And I, for one, am in total agreement with that name. And I've set forth that in our meetings. So we'll see. But it's Park Commission's sole responsibility.
Joe, will it be the same name from...
Yes, one path or one trail, the Pompton Rail Trail or whatever we call it.
Yeah.
It goes from, it's a bi-county trail. Morris County is building the trail, but obviously it goes from Morris County to Passaic County. So that may affect the final name.
Well, when they firm up all the history from all the historians and their documentation, I would give this out, but they are rewriting this memo. It gives all the background as the history as to why it should be the Pompton Path. So
one of the main things is just logic. It follows the course of the Pompton River from its inception at River Drive to its ending It's 50 feet away at the beginning and about 100 yards away at the end, and basically crosses over the river. So that's one of the logical reasons.
Yeah. The memo's very good, but it is changing, so I don't want to share it with anybody until it's completely done. I'm sure everybody will get a copy of it as to why. And that's all my report. Next on the agenda is public comment. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized, come to the microphone, and provide your name and address for the record. Luis.
Hi, Louise Marchese of 16 Roland Road. I'm just basically venting. I've been up here before and I've said the same thing, but I feel like saying it again tonight. I think it's appropriate. I want to thank you, Joe, for the trip that you made along with Tom down the river to see these trees and whatever else happens to be in the river. I lived in Pequannock for 32 years now. I live down the block from the river, off of Riverside. And the worst storm that I've seen come through here has been Hurricane Sandy. And what my argument has been over the past 6 years is all those trees, all those branches, all those twigs that we cleaned up off the street, those same trees went in the river, and nothing has been done to date. And this is something that I've been bringing up. Like I said, we cleaned up our streets and everything looks beautiful, but the river has not been addressed. And I realize the flood tunnel, that ship sailed, but we have to do something about flooding. Millions are spent on buyouts of houses, millions are spent on elevating houses. When do we address flooding, the flooding issue that we can do something about? As I said, I'm just venting, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at our meeting, Adam, this Thursday night at 7:30 in this room. Thank you.
Venting then, too?
So I certainly will. Somehow I managed to, that's why they let me be secretary, because they don't want me to talk. They just want me to take notes. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Nope. Next on the agenda is minutes for approval. We talked about that a lot. Did everybody get to review the 2014 series?
Yes.
Okay. Any comments?
I'm going to recuse myself out of them.
Gee, why?
I could say.
Does that complete 14, or are we still trying to catch up with 14?
I believe that completes 14, but I'm going to give it one more.
Before we celebrate.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Is there a motion to
I'll
approve
make
these
that
minutes?
motion To approve the minutes from 2014.
I'll second.
Hang on a minute here.
All in favor?
Aye.
And you'll take care of that recusal. So we have a closed session?
We do.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.